parallel, perpendicular, neither is all about the slopes, so we need to find the slopes. This is in standard form, but they've written the x first, so we have to be careful. Remember, in standard form, the slope is the opposite of a over b. So what is the opposite of a in this first equation? Come on, folks. It's 5. Remember, the a is what's on the x, even though it's not written first. So the opposite would be 5. What's b? 2. So the slope of this first line is 5/2. This is written in slope-intercept form. You can pull the slope right out. What is it? Slope is 5/2. We know that parallel lines have the same slope. So the pair of lines in number 1 is parallel. You're going to have to do that today in advisory. Okay. All right, second one. Again, it's in ax plus by equals c form, but the x is written last. So we need opposite of a over b. What is the opposite of a?
1.
Right, because a is -1 here, so the opposite of a is a +1. How about b?
1.
1, and 1 over 1 is the same thing as 1. Okay, what is the slope in the second one? You should just be able to pull it right out.
-1.
Slope in the second one is -1. So we have a slope of 1 and a slope of -1.
Neither.
Actually, perpendicular. Now why? Because remember, 1 is the same thing as 1 over 1, right? So if I flip that fraction, I still get 1 over 1, and I change the sign. So this is the special case I talked about in advisory yesterday, where 1 and -1 are actually, those are opposite reciprocals. Because see, when you flip, you're still getting a 1, okay? All right, practicing finding parts of quadratic graph without having Desmos. So, does this open up or down? Up. The reason why is the coefficient on the x squared, that's called a, it's positive, so it opens up. What's the y-intercept?
21.
Y-intercept is this c, it's 21. Okay, now we got to do a little bit of work. How do we find our x-intercepts? Factor and solve. So I'm going to factor this, do a little box. We got x squared, we got 21. What goes in the bottom of the x?
10.
Okay, what are my magic numbers? 7 and 3 are my magic numbers. We're going to put x's here. And then we're going to do greatest common factor. We get an x and a 3 and an x and a 7. And so x and a 7, x and a 3. When I look back, both my signs are positive. We're frozen. Okay. So now the trick is, y'all, not to get confused that these are your x-intercepts. So you haven't solved yet. So when I solve, I have to subtract 7 from both sides. So one of my x-intercepts is -7. And then here I have to subtract 3 on both sides. So my other x-intercept is -3. So we've got -7 and -3 for my x-intercepts. Okay, the newer part, finding the axis of symmetry and using that to finish up for the vertex. The axis of symmetry formula is opposite of b divided by 2a. So remember our form. ax squared plus bx plus c. So b is 10. So the opposite of b is -10 divided by 2 times blank. And I need to put a in the blank. So what's a? 1. 2 times 1 is 2. And when I do -10 divided by 2, I get -5. So my axis of symmetry is a vertical line imaginary, it's x equals -5. Since that goes through the vertex, I already know the x-coordinate of the vertex is -5. How do I get the y part of the vertex? Plug it in. So what does it sound like? Blank squared plus 10 blank plus 21. Blank squared plus 10 blank plus 21. And I'm going to plug my x in. Okay. And I'm going to do this without a calculator. -5 squared, what is that?
25.
It is a positive 25, because anytime I square a negative number, it's positive. 10 times -5 is -50, and then bring down your plus 21. 25 minus 50 is -25, and -25 plus 21 is -4. So the y part of my vertex is -4. Okay, is the vertex a maximum or a minimum? When it opens up, it has to be a minimum. So it's a minimum. And what is the minimum value? It is the y part of the vertex. It is -4. Now what we do is we use all of this information to figure out what our graph is. So we've got x-intercepts of -7 and -3. So I'm going to flip over. This x-intercept is -3. This x-intercept is -7. It opens up. This one opens down, so it can't be that one. This one opens down, so it can't be that one. This x-intercept is 3, and this x-intercept is 7. So A is the correct answer. We can double check something else. We can double check our vertex. Our vertex is -5, -4. Notice the way the picture is, you can't see your y-intercept. So you had to go by your x-intercepts and your vertex. Question? Good? All right. Okay. Y'all can put that up. Let's talk about, we're going to do a little bit and then do some delta math today. So, I'll wait for y'all to get all that up and then I'm going to show you something. Okay, so y'all, here we are on page 9, which is where we've got these formulas that I've already put on flip charts. Okay? This is what I want you to do. Okay, as if you're folding to get to your next page, if you just flip one page over, this is that spare page. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll say again, if you just flip one of them over, this is your spare page. So we're going to glue it on our spare page. Okay? You know what? Why don't y'all just go backwards? Let's glue it on the spare page before. So I'll do it again. Okay, so here's page 9. Is everybody on page 9? Yes. Just pick up your middle sheet. Just pick up your middle sheet. Spare page. You're going to glue this, which is a reminder mathematically, if we need to find the pattern, how do we do it? Okay. Okay. Where's the other one of those? Okay, so put it right there. There you go, girl. All right, so we're just gluing the little half sheet, y'all, so that you've got this. If you can't remember how you find your common difference and your common ratio, you actually already did this in a Delta Math when we were trying to figure out whether something was exponential, linear, or quadratic. But now you have it in your notes with some funny faces. And look what it says. If you're trying to find the common difference, you do second term minus first, third term minus second, fourth term minus third. If you're trying to find the common ratio, you do second term divided by first, third term divided by second, fourth term divided by third. And you should see the same pattern over and over, okay? Some of y'all may want to keep this out, up to you. If you don't need to keep it out, you can close her up. Okay? All right. All right, so we've got 6 problems here. And what we're going to do is we're going to determine, are these arithmetic? Are they geometric? Then, once we do that, if it's arithmetic, then we're going to have to figure out the common difference, that's the pattern, and we're going to write and write. If it's geometric, we've got to figure out the common ratio, write. So that's what we're going to do. So your guide is up here, okay? So, 4, and folks, let's make sure we've got a calculator, because I'm going to show y'all the trick if you can't figure out the pattern. Okay? So let's make sure we have a calculator. If you don't, kind of look around. I'm sure there's extra. Okay. In number 1, we need to know what the pattern is. We can't determine anything until we figure out the pattern. Do we know what it is? We are adding 5. Okay, now I can demonstrate this. Second term minus first term is 5. We still got to go further. Third term minus second term, I keep getting 5. See, when you're doing that, subtracting, that is giving you your common difference. It is 5. We are adding 5 each time. And if you want to do a little thing and put plus 5, you can do that. So, is this sequence arithmetic or geometric? It is arithmetic. You have to know that, folks. Unfortunately, it's just a title, but you got to know it. If you think about arithmetic when you were a kid, I mean, arithmetic, I think of that as adding and subtracting. I don't know why. Okay, so now we are going to write the explicit formula, putting in the numbers that we know. So if you look on the flip chart under arithmetic, what does this represent? This piece here. The first term of the sequence, and then what does that represent? Common difference. We got to know that word too, y'all. Common difference, because you may have a question that doesn't say find the D, it says find the common difference. And you got to be like, oh, I know what that is. So we're going to put those 2 numbers in. Okay, so let's write our explicit formula. A sub n equals first term. What is it? -4 plus D, which is 5 parentheses n minus 1. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to simplify this, because they could give it to you in simplified form. Take a look here. What do you think you might do first to simplify this? Distribute. So, y'all, if I distribute, I get A sub n equals -4 plus 5 times n is 5n, and 5 times -1 is -5. I've got one last step I can do to distribute. I mean, after I distribute, what is it? I can simplify this one step further. Combine like terms. -4 and -5 is -4 and -5 combined is -9. Now, y'all, the reason why I do this is because on a standardized test, they're probably going to simplify this, and let me tell you the mistake that is made every single time. I'm going to throw this in a warm-up and tell you you made that mistake every single time. Folks, for a sequence, everybody wants to look right there and look for the first term. Y'all, that is not the first term. That's the first term when it's written that way. That is not the first term. That's actually the 0th term. It's the initial value, which doesn't mean anything in a sequence. So I need you to be very careful there. If your sequence is written like that, that is not your first term, and they're going to have that as an answer choice to see if you pick it. Okay? All right, recursive form. Recursive form is the one that really has no benefit except for to tell you what your D is. So if you look under recursive form for arithmetic, what does it look like? A sub n equals A sub n minus 1, which means go back a term, and then we're going to put plus 5. Why am I putting plus 5? What's plus 5? It's telling me the pattern. It's my common difference. Okay, now, what do you think this guy's asking us to do? What do you think that guy? The first term is -4. The value of the second term is 1. The value of the third term is 6. The value of the fourth term is 11. What do you think this guy's asking us to find?
The next one?
Not the next one. Not the common difference. It is asking us to find the value of the 15th term. There's the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. It says, I want the 15th term. Now, on a calculator, y'all can just keep adding 5 here. Here's the shortcut, folks. All you do is put 15 right there because N stands for the term number. And if I want the 15th term, I just put a 15 right there. So let's write it. -4 plus 5. And now I'm using this formula to find the 15th term, so I'm going to put a 15 right there. And now all you do is put that in your calculator and you will get the value of the 15th term. So we've got -4 plus 5 parenthesis 15 minus 1. And we find out the 15th term, the value is 66. Okay? Keep in mind you could also write it this way. So if you see that, it's telling you that the 15th term has a value of 66. Okay? Okay, let's go to this one. I need my pattern. I heard multiplying by 4. I'm going to check it. So this is how I'm going to check it. Second term divided by first. Third term divided by second. Fourth term divided by third term. I keep getting the same thing. That's why they call it a ratio, y'all, because ratio means dividing. So we're multiplying by 4. So, arithmetic or geometric? It is geometric. It does not have a D. It's got a common ratio, and that common ratio is 4. So now we're going to write both our formulas. If you look over there under geometric in the orange, explicit says A sub n equals the first term. What is the first term of the sequence? 2. We can use a multiplication or a parenthesis. Common ratio. 4 raised to the n minus 1. So this is your explicit formula. You can use that to find any term number you like, to find the value of any term you like. That's why this is so beneficial. Okay, y'all, you can't simplify this one. There's no way to simplify. So recursive, if you look over there, what recursive says is, if I want the value of a term, I multiply my common ratio times the previous value. If I want the value of the next term, I multiply my common ratio times the previous value. Okay? Really not beneficial for much, except for to tell you that there's an R there and it's 4. Okay, now, what is this asking us to do? Find the value of the 9th term. So, y'all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, and this is where I enter my term number, and it's 9. So, I'm going to go ahead and write this. 2 parentheses 4, and y'all, in the calculator, you got to be very careful. You're going to have to put that power in parentheses. The n, they want us to find the 9th term, is 9 minus 1. Okay, everybody, I really need for you to grab up those calculators and do this with me. 2 parentheses 4, close the parenthesis. How do I do a power? Caret key, which is right underneath the clear key. 9 minus 1. Oh, do a parenthesis. 9 minus 1, close the parenthesis. My calculator, I've got like a 84 plus. Mine looks funky, but did y'all get this? If you did not, I need to come look at your calculator and see if I can figure out what you did wrong. Anybody want me to come look at their calculator? Just want to figure out what you did wrong so that I can help you out. Oh, you did -1. It should be minus 1. That's all. So you can try it again and use the minus sign. There you go. Anybody else need me to come look at their calculator and see what you did wrong? Okay? Now I'm going to show you guys a great trick. I'm going to show you guys a great trick. Everybody go to y equals. Everybody go to y equals. If anything is there, clear it, please. I'm going to grab a calculator that looks like y'all's. Okay, go to y equals. If anything is there, clear it. Actually, somebody's been messing around with that. That's going to do something funky, but... Okay, so y'all, let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the equation in, and we don't have n's, but we have x's, because n is the same thing as an x. So do this with me. 2 parentheses 4, close the parenthesis, caret key, open a parenthesis, and type in, instead of n minus 1, type in x minus 1. And y'all, x is right here next to your green button. Type in x minus 1 and close that parenthesis. Does everybody have that in? Now I want you to go to table. Remember, table is in yellow. Let me show you something cool. First term is 2. Second term is 8. Third term is 32. 128. This one asks us for the 9th term. Keep scrolling. Boom, look right there. Y'all, you can scroll. It'll give you all the terms you want. 12th term. Notice that E showing up. The reason why is exponential gets big fast, so it can't even hold the numbers there. But just showing you a trick that'll give you any term number you want. Okay? Okay, so what do we get? 131. .072 for the value of the ninth term. It gets big fast, y'all, because this is an exponential model. It gets big fast. Number 3. I need my pattern. And it's not obvious. So we've got some tricks to check our pattern. What can I do to check my pattern? Oh, first of all, guys, if you need to get out of this table, you use the quit button. Second quit to get out of that table. Second quit to get out of that table. Brayden, do you have a calculator? Okay, let's get one. Okay, who remembers our little thing we glued? How can I check my arithmetic geometry? Okay. Everybody do it with me. Second term minus the first term. Doing it once doesn't help. We got to keep going. Third term minus the second term. It's not the same. So it's not arithmetic because the common difference didn't work. So clear out. Now we're going to check geometric. How do we do that? How we do it? I'm waiting. Second term divided by the first term. Doing it once isn't enough. Third term divided by the second term. And just to solidify, fourth term divided by the third term. It appears a common ratio is my pattern. I am multiplying by 3 each time. So if I am multiplying by 3 each time, is this arithmetic or geometric? This is geometric. It does not have a D. It's got a common ratio, and that common ratio is 3. Now we've got to write our formulas. Won't y'all look up here and see if you can write the formulas before I do. See if you can write your formulas before I do. Write your explicit, write your recursive. See if you can do it before me. And the formulas are up there under geometric as well. Okay. Explicit. A sub n equals, first term is 1.5. My common ratio is 3 raised to the n minus 1. That's my equation. Recursive equation. A sub n equals 3 times a sub n minus 1. And all my recursive shows me is, if I want the value of the next term, I go back to the previous term and multiply it by 3. Okay, now, what is this asking me to find? I need the value of the 12th term. I'm just going to go right there and plug a 12 in. So here we go. 1.5 parentheses 3 raised to the 12 minus 1. And now we're going to put that in our calculator. 1.5 parentheses 3, close your parenthesis, caret key, open a parenthesis, 12 minus 1. Now, y'all, if you know that 12 minus 1 is 11 and you like, Miss Badger, I just want to type in 11, you can. So, 265,720.5. That is the value of the 12th term. Okay. I'm going to see if you guys can do number 4 by yourself. I'm going to come around and see what you get. So number 4 is on the right-hand side. Let's see how we do. So, it's not that hard. It's just getting used to these formulas and understanding what N means and what the A means. Got to find the pattern. If you don't know the pattern, then you need to use your little cheat sheet for how do you check your pattern. Need to use our cheat sheet for checking the pattern. Anybody else think they got it? Now see if you can see your here frame. Now see if you can write this in this. Which one is it? Yep, and use that and see if you can write these formulas, and then see if you can find the value of the term they're asking you to find. I got you. No. All right. Some of y'all have figured it out, but I'm going to demonstrate again to some folks. How do I find the pattern when I don't know it? I'm going to start with seeing if it's a D, seeing if it's arithmetic. Second term minus the term minus the second term. As you can see, it's not the same. So y'all, it is not a common difference. It is not arithmetic. I'm going to check geometric. How do I check it? Second term divided by the first term. Third term divided by the second term. I am now getting the same pattern. I'm going to check it one more time. Fourth term divided by the third term. Yes, it is a common ratio. The common ratio is -4 because the pattern is multiplying by -4. I am multiplying by -4. Guess I should just put a times -4. Okay, so it is geometric. It is geometric. And now I'm going to write my geometric equations. Explicit, the most useful. A sub n equals the first term, which is 3, and I need my common ratio, which is -4, raised to the n minus 1. This is my equation. I can use this to find any term I want. So now the recursive, A sub n equals -4 times A with a little sub n minus 1. This is asking me to find what? The value of the 8th term in the sequence. So I'm going to go back to my explicit. I'm going to write it. And now, instead of an n, I'm going to plug an 8 in. Okay? 3 parentheses, -4. I need a caret key. I need to open another parenthesis. And I find out that the value of the 8th term is -49,152. Okay? All right, I want you two to finish the last two before I do it. See if you can. I know some of y'all have already done it. I know. I love it. But I'm going to pause for a minute and let you guys try to finish the last two without me. All right. I didn't pop mine in the calculator, so y'all gonna have to give me the value of my 20th term and the value of my 11th, but we found out that the pattern here is adding 15. Did y'all find that? So it's a common difference. It's arithmetic. Here's my formula. There's my first term. There's my D. Recursive, notice it says plus 15. That plus 15 is letting me know this is arithmetic and the pattern is adding 15. The common difference is adding 15. What did y'all get for the 20th term? Did anybody do it? 245. Good job, y'all. Okay, and on this one, when we do 80 divided by 160, 40 divided by 80, we found a common pattern, which is 0.5. That's the same thing as a half. So when I write that, it's 160. My R is a half raised to the n minus 1. Notice here, for my recursive, there's no operation in between these, which means it's multiplication. That's signaling us that it's geometric. And did we find the value of the 11th term by any chance? Guess I could go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do 160 parentheses 0.5, close the parenthesis, open another one, and I want the 11th term, so 11 minus 1. I got 0.15625. Did y'all get that? Got a question. Should it be surprising that I've gone down to a number less than 1? Should not, because I hope you kind of see this. Y'all, this is like your B. Remember, if that number is less than 1, the exponential model is doing what? It's decaying. It's going down. Okay? All right, you guys have a delta math, easy delta math today. All you're doing, I believe, in both of them is finding the common ratio and the common difference. That's it. That's it. That's it. You don't have to write an equation, none of that. Now, we're going to get into that this week, but just saying, kind of starting off real simple, okay? You're finding your R, your D. That's it. So that little cheat sheet is going to be your friend. I think you got 5 of each. I don't know. Maybe 10 of each. I've got a charger back there.